with another episode of Local Roots. Hi, I'm Todd Studer. Looks like we have some rain in the forecast, which is a good thing. We are really, really dry, and folks out in the other parts of the county that have been dealing with dry weather and it's causing water problems, they're going to be very thankful we're getting it. And in fact, on today's show, Travis Waldstein with AirServe Heating and Air Conditioning, and also Waldstein Plumbing. We talk about that water issue and also talk about some of the opportunities that Travis has seen coming together for HVAC and furnaces. So if you're in the market, this was going to be an episode that you're going to want to watch/listen to. In the meantime, I wanted to tell you about Castle & Associates of American Family Insurance. They're your local insurance provider for all your home, auto, life, business, and farm insurance needs. 4 convenient locations in Council Bluffs, Trainer, Bellevue, and Elkhorn. They are local and in your neighborhood, ready to help you navigate the complexities of insurance today. Travis and his team educate, advise, and simplify insurance, all to protect those things you cherish most. Give them a call today for your free quote. Do you or does someone you love need in-home care? Home Care Advocacy Network helps you maintain your own privacy in your own space while still receiving care and support with a personalized touch. Aging in place can be critical for many people. Home Care Advocacy Network can meet those needs with an understanding that assisted living is best at home. HCAN of Southwest Iowa brings the personal touch to care at home in Council Bluffs, Glenwood, Red Oak, Clarinda, and all the surrounding communities. Visit hcan.com/Southwest Iowa to learn more. Back on the program, it's Travis Waldstein, AirServe Heating and Air Conditioning, and Waldstein Plumbing. Good morning, sir. Glad to see you again, and glad that you were able to pass your driving test. You're all legal now. You can drag around that big giant excavator, and everyone can feel safe and secure while you're doing it.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to tell you what, Iowa Western, Brad Lewis, the instructor, Tony Scheifler, she's kind of the coordinator of that department. We had them on their podcast. They're, coming up here. I'm going to tell you what, we had some fun with it, but really good what they're doing with the program. And it wasn't easy. I'm going to tell you what, I've taken master's tests. I've talked in front of people before. It was, come test day, I don't get nervous, and I was nervous. So very glad I did it. Very glad I passed it. We've had these 2 guys now. We're going to have 4 or 5 more go through just to make sure we got people that have it. And, but no, pretty darn excited as far as going through that. And if you want to get your CDL, I would definitely 100% recommend getting a hold of Tony out at Iowa Western and talking with her. Hopefully we'll get her on at some point as well to talk about some of the other stuff they got going on. But yeah, absolutely. And now I can pull my excavator. You're 100% right. So, and I can come pull your Dodge out and load it on my trailer.
Well, it's good to know in case that happens. It's also good that we have a resource like that so close to home. I mean, Iowa Western's just doing such a great job out there with making sure that they're serving the community. And this is a huge thing. They got a ton of people going through that program and getting drivers on the road. And the best part about it is getting them on safely. Yeah, because it's a really, really good program.
It is, and it's a life skill. When you got your CDL, it's like welding. I went through the welding class 15 years ago, and you think, well, I do solder and stuff all the time. But welding's a different deal. I went through a non-credit class, and they literally took guys who weren't making money. You know what I'm saying? They're and wouldn't take the class, and learned how to were able to do it. So. So no, I think it's a great program. I think some of the stuff they do is really good. And with their, continuing that stuff and, your non-traditional stuff, which, it's a niche, it's a need. I can't say enough about it. So, 100% recommend it.
A lot of times on the show, we're talking about different things you're doing with the plumbing company, but also on the HVAC side, it sounds like there might be some opportunities here for some folks if they need to upgrade or maybe they just need to get some replacements done.
Mm-hmm. There is. For anybody that knows, we've been a Rude distributor or Rude dealer for nine years, and I've always sold Rude as either a primary or secondary line. Their product, in my mind, is, the best in the market, and every dealer could pay. Well, ours is the best. We got a great distributor in Good Company. They have great tech support. When we do have warranty issues, we don't have a lot of warranty issues. It's the reason I like them. I like to fix other people's equipment, not the equipment we installed. So we've been pretty fortunate with that. But Ream Rude, I guess I should say, I'll count both of them, and my franchise AirServe worked out in agreement here this spring that is, while most manufacturers are raising their price, actually, we're going to be able to be a lot more competitive with our pricing with some of the stuff that they've done for us because of my relationship with Rude and Good Company, but also with me being an AirServe. So, if you're looking to get a replacement, now is going to be a great time to look at doing that. There's a lot of stuff coming, but when everybody's talking 10%, 15, 20%, hikes, we're going to be able to at least hold our numbers. And in a lot of cases, we're going to be able to reduce the cost of getting this equipment changed, which is exciting for us. It's pretty, I'm not going to say exclusive, but very limited as far as who's going to have access to this. So, it's exciting for us. We're going to be able to, give back to our, customers, and people are looking to do business, looking to upgrade. And the way of the world, things are always changing, and that's the one thing you can guarantee is changing the business. So, no, very excited about that and what we can offer. So, not a great equipment, but, a little bit more value in the equipment just because it's not costing as much. And, no, all in all, pretty excited as far as what we're able to do. So can't wait to get out and talk to customers and get some pricing and talk about what we can do, because obviously you're buying the equipment, but hopefully you're buying us too, which for better or for worse.
I'll let you have that. I'm just going to let you have it.
You let me have that one. So as I say, I have a face for radio. So,
I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, we know that in certain parts of the county that we live in, Pottawatomie County in Iowa, there were some water issues going on. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that, being on the plumbing side, everything is just all kind of tied together, isn't it?
It is. It's been in the news, and I know regional water, and I'm not speaking for regional water. I was on regional water when I lived in Shelby back to, this has been 20 years ago now, realistically. I've got nothing but positive to say about regional water and what they did for us. But they have, my understanding is they have shallow wells, and we haven't had any rain the last 5 years to speak of. We haven't had winter moisture. It's gotten really dry if you haven't noticed. And it's not just with regional water. There's other people that have water wells that all of a sudden they don't have water. Well, guess what? You need water to fill the sink. You need water to wash the dishes. You need water to do the laundry. You need water to flush the toilet. Water is life. If you don't have water, and that's a part of what we do. Now on the regional water side or on the well side, we're not well people per se. But that's serious. I mean, with what's going on now, they have been working with the city council, Bluffs, the waterworks out there, and been working with the waterworks, and they're actually, and they've been working on this for a while. They're actually putting a line in from Council Bluffs Waterworks out to Regional Water in Avoca to help supplement their water situation, because it's gotten to a drastic level to make sure that people, in Pott and Shelby County and Harrison County, people that rely on rural water, have that ability. But it's an issue. I know if you get out about 330th and Dogwood Road, where there's people that had wells, I guess you should say, that are without water. I know one customer has a shop in Oakland's been trucking in 1,500 gallons a month to his house. So he's got water in his home. So water, all of a sudden, you think is just there. Water has been an issue in the county. And if you're having issues, with your well, if you're having issues with water pressure, it's not something to poo-poo. It is an issue. It's you can either be proactive or reactive, and I think regional water has been trying to be proactive. It's just we've had nothing for moisture. We've had 2.5 inches of rain the last 3 days, and I think before that we haven't had hardly any moisture since before the first of the year. It seems like no snow, no nothing. So, I would encourage anybody that's having issues. You're going to get a lot more with being polite versus getting upset over it. I think they understand your plight, but understand they're doing what they can. And the best thing, and I think they've done a lot of job, is conserve. Don't be washing your car, don't be doing, watering your yards and all that stuff, because unfortunately, water is I say fortunately, but unfortunately, water is a very important resource. And if you, like I said, it comes back to, if you don't have water, you don't have much. That's why that's why they haven't built in the deserts except in the last 100 years, because we figure out how to get water to the desert. This is not a Southwest problem of the country anymore. This is becoming a bigger issue here. And so, think about that before you turn on the sprinkler system, or, if you're on a well, you know how important keeping the wells up, making sure they're maintained, making sure they're water tested. I know the county does water testing. We can actually do water testing as well. So if you've got well water and you want to get it tested, it doesn't cost us anything. We have a place we can send it in, and we can get your water tested to find out what's in the water. Is your water safe to drink? Does it have whatever in it? So we have that ability with Waldstein Plant as well. It probably takes about 10 days to do, but, but if you're concerned about it, with what you're drinking and what you're using, it's definitely something that we're able to do.
Well, that's good news, and I know that for a large percentage of the county, I mean, it's a very real situation right now. And you said it's going on in a lot of different places. There was just a story that came on not that long ago that there's a mountain town out north of Colorado Springs that they had this cloudy water situation. They actually shut it off and said, don't even bathe.
Yeah.
It's gotten that serious. So It's not that way here. I mean, we don't want to overstate that, but still need to stay ahead of the game with it, and hope that we start getting some more rain in the area without the flooding issues. We just need kind of a steady rain for a week. I think that would help.
If it rained overnight, an inch a night overnight for the next month, now it would be terrible if you had to go dig or do construction because you couldn't work. But I mean, as far as for the crops and for what the water situation, we could get 30 inches of rain over a month and a half period of time, and it would do wonders for our water situation. They've been dealing with this out in Nevada for years. I mean, 2 years ago, think about this. If you go out to, the Hoover Dam out there, and we went out there, and the water level was as low as they've ever set it. Matter of fact, they're like, we're not sure how much longer we're going to be able to maintain moisture. But then the next year, they got extra snowfall in the mountains, and it came up. But then a year and a half later, it's kind of like, it's starting to go back down again. So, it's like anything else. I think it's nature. It goes through its cycles. We go through wet cycles. We go through dry cycles. But, for the people that say, I know growing up in the 70s and early 80s, what we know is normal winter, normal cycles. The one thing that's not normal is things aren't normal. Why that is, we can spend all day arguing politics on that and not win. But, the reality is you just got to be conscientious with your resources and, think before you go to turn on the spray, do the stuff that you don't have to do. We want you to do your laundry because no one wants you to be stinky. Sorry. I'll call it for what it is. Certain things you got to do in life, but just if you, especially if you're on a well and if you're on regional water, do it there. There's reasons they would rather not tell you that you have to do it, but obviously they're doing it for reasons. And a red alert when it came out the other day is something I'd never heard. I didn't even know what it was, but it's to a point. It's critical that people's got to put a halt to what they're doing or else.
Well, look on the bright side. If you stop watering your lawn, and if it gets dry, it stops growing, so you don't have to mow.
Well, see, that's always been my argument for not putting, it was, I got to have a green yard. So you're going to spend money to water it, to put chemical on it, so you can spend money to mow it. So you can do this every 3 to 5 days. And it's like, this is insanity. This is like the spring. These are like the sprayers out in Nebraska because they can't grow any corn without this, without taking out of the Ogallala aquifer, because if they
Right.
didn't have them, they wouldn't be able to grow squat for corn in Nebraska because, there's no moisture. It is what it is. It's all sandy soil. So,
Well, I'll call that you're digging against Nebraska, and we'll
that's
leave
not
it at
even
that.
digging. That's not even a dig about against Nebraska. That's just, that's the reality. In Iowa, like, what are these pivots? You go to Nebraska, they're all over the place because they have to have them. Which,
Yeah.
it's, but you have to admit it's smart enough that they do it. But the other thing that I've heard, I've kind of gone on a soapbox a little bit, is I listen to a guy quite a bit, Barn Talk, and they talk about that. They talk about farmers and fertilizer. Here's something to think about for you: how much chemical is put on your yard to make sure that it's green? I
Mm-hmm.
bet you if you went and figured every yard in the United States that had chemical or stuff on their yard to make the grass grow, you probably put a lot more chemicals in your yard than a farmer ever thought about putting in his cornfield.
Yeah, that's probably got some truth to it. Nobody likes weeds.
I bet if you started looking at it, there's probably a lot more truth than you ever know. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not telling you it's that way. I'm just saying, if you really went and did the research, there's probably more to that than you realize. So.
Well, jumping back to the HVAC side, and if somebody needs more information or wants to learn a little bit more before we get into the really hot summer months, because we're not there yet. So it actually was a little bit chilly yesterday. How do they do that? How do they get a hold of you?
You know what? The best way to get a hold of us is call us at Air Server Council Bluff, 712-256-4443. You can go to our website, airserve.com/Council Bluffs is always a good way. For those of you who are lucky enough to have my cell phone, you can get a hold of me there too. And I'm going to have the nice gals in the office, Jane, Maddie, Charlie, and we got Sam on the plumbing side now too. So, Sam's new, she's from Glenwood. So, and she's actually been great as far as coming in here. Now, I don't want her to get a big head because she might, but no, we brought Sam over to the plumbing side. She's our new CSR on there, and it's worked out pretty well for us. So, and if you need plumbing stuff, give us a call. Waldstein Plumbing, 712-308-1500. You can get us on the website too, but the phones are, I would definitely recommend. The phone's probably the best, or email. You can always do that too. So,
Well, there you go, and a lot to talk about with that. And as folks, if they've got a need for more information, you can get it to them. Is actually obviously hard details are going to depend on the situation, so that's why you need to have that talk with them and say, okay, let's see what we can do specifically for what it is that you have here.
yeah, absolutely. And for like HVAC installs, we do free estimates. So, if you're looking at something, we do free second opinions. On the plumbing stuff, we do free estimates as well. So, sometimes we have to, there's sometimes if we get involved in something, we have to spend a little bit of money to look at something, to figure out what a problem is, to give you an answer. But generally, for the most part, our estimates are free. Second opinions are free. Service calls are billable. That's a part of life, but we have our maintenance programs too. So call. The gals are very well informed, probably more informed than I am on some of this stuff. I just direct them, but I'm always good for a conversation, as you know, Todd. So.
Oh yeah, I'm aware. We're overdue for one. I'm thinking chicken at third base or something like that.
There you go. Chicken at third base, or Bertha's. I always love going to Bertha's. In several places. The porch. Actually, I've been eating a lot of wings at the porch lately.
Yeah.
So
they have good wings too. Yeah,
they do. I actually they make them just how I like them. So, and every once in a while, I'll run down to the dock too. I don't get there as much, so it depends. And then I go see. I went and had breakfast at the Mile Way on Sunday.
Did you?
They had their buffet. Actually, I was very impressed with. the buffet they had out there. So I got out there kind of late too, and it was, it was actually very good. So, and
Well,
if you've
and
looked,
giving the Milo away a little bit of love, they got that new arcade open upstairs that they call it Glitch. And I haven't been out there yet to see it, but I do know that they're open late in that.
So I don't know. Of course, you're talking to the person when it comes to arcades, and that's good. It'll probably be a great success. But I'm the person that my dad bought me a Nintendo when I was like 21 years old, and took it back to Walmart and got a Mossberg 500 shotgun. So that'll tell you my whole thing with arcades. So
Charles said he was going to put some pinball machines out there, so I'm hoping that that's always good for a humbling experience.
Or shuffleboard, the old shuffleboard. My dad, when he owned his bar, had a shuffleboard. Shuffleboards was a lot of fun. So, what I need to do is I got to have time to do, but I'd love to go back and start throwing horseshoes again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a couple places in town last I knew, there's still people that throw horseshoes, but
at Sunset Park, isn't there a big place to throw shoes there? I think so. Yeah.
They do the last time I knew. And I'd be lying if I said that I knew a whole lot about what they do here locally, but my grandfather used to throw all the time growing up, and I would throw, and it's just life gets in the way. But that'll take to kind of get something like that. I could definitely get behind. So,
all right, cool. We'll make a horseshoe day of it.
There you go. Sounds good.
All right. Travis Waldstein, Air Serv Heating and Air Conditioning, Waldstein Plumbing. Thank you, sir.
Yes, thanks, Tom.
Just stay safe out there.
I will. Take care.
If you need precision metal fabrication done right, look no further than Foxco Fabrication in Council Bluffs. Custom welding to large-scale manufacturing, bringing your ideas to life with expert craftsmanship and cutting-edge technology. Industrial, commercial, or custom fabrication, they're going to get the job done on time and built to last. Find them online and see everything that they can do at foxcofab.com. That is the end of today's show. Thank you so much, Travis Waldstein, for being on again. I've got a busy day today. I'm speaking at the local Rotary meeting at noon, and also got to get out of the studio here and get over to my Council Bluffs Business Connection meeting. That's first thing that is on the agenda for today. My name's Todd Studer. Have a great Thursday.